I'm Mike Sullivan, and today we'll be taking a look at Anthony's golf swing. Anthony is 61 years old, and his goal is to hit better iron shots that compress the ball. Okay, so what we'll do today is we're going to take a look at one of our viewers' golf swings, and this is coming from Anthony. And Anthony says that he is a 61-year-old golf nut. He plays once a week, usually scoring between 85 and 88 from the white tees. His iron shots are the weakest part of his full swing. He says that he has a tendency to hit behind the ball. Accordingly, shots are not as long as he'd like them to be. And then he will favor a hybrid or a 5-wood on fairways to get more distance and better contact. His drives are around 225 yards, which are fairly accurate in the fairway. Misses are hooks or pushes, and his goal is to hit better irons that compress the ball. So let's take a look at Anthony's swing here, and I've already got it loaded up on the V1 app here, so I like to do this in landscape. So let's see what we got here. So this is the swing down the target line. There's no ball there, probably because he doesn't want to upset the neighbors, right? And let's take a look at his face-on view also. So this is the face-on view that he sent us. From the face-on view. This one is he's hitting a ball here. Now when I watched this before, Anthony, I was able to watch it in a view where it was not slowed down like this. So I'm going to see if I can pull that up. So we're going to look at this now real time. So this is face-on view real time. Okay, now we're going to look at down the target line real time. Okay, so the things you had talked about, let's take a look again about what the problem is. The problem is we want to hit better irons and compress the ball, and it says that also iron shots are kind of weak and have a tendency to hit behind the ball. So when we see somebody who's hitting behind the ball, what we're usually going to see, excuse me as I grab a club here, usually, not always, but usually when we look at somebody who's hitting behind the ball, we're going to see an impact position where when that player gets down towards impact, and keep an eye right on the center of my chest here, we're going to see a player who the center of their chest moves backwards away from the target a little bit, and a lot of times we'll see the club head pass their hands and they kind of hit behind the ball and they have kind of a scoopy type of a finish. A lot of times weight is not as far forward as we'd like it to be. So let's take a look at Anthony's swing again on that. So take a look at him from the face-on view. Let's take a look at Anthony with a slowed down version, slow motion. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line, Anthony, right on your sternum, right in the center of your chest here. Let's take a look at when you get to impact, what's happening on the center of your body. So that's about where you started, right? And then when you get to impact, you can see you haven't moved forward a whole heck of a lot. You can also see, though, something that looks really good is notice your hands are ahead of that club head at impact. That's really good. Let's bring in a comparison of a tour player here, okay? All right, so again, let's take a look here. Anthony, you're on the left-hand side, obviously. Watch when you start off with our line on our sternum. When you get back to impact, you're going to see that your sternum is pretty much in the same place at impact as it was at setup. So what's happening is the low point of your swing is going to have a hard time really getting very much ahead of the ball. Take a look at this Rory McIlroy swing on the right-hand side. It's kind of old, but it's a great angle. So there's his sternum at setup. Look at impact, how much farther forward the center of his chest is. So he's going to have a very easy time striking the ball and then striking the turf. Now, one thing you're doing a great job of that I alluded to before is notice how your hands are leading that club head through impact, just like Rory. That is really good. Really good. So what we want to do is we just want to get the center of your chest moving a little bit more forward towards the target through impact. The other thing we want to do, and I'm going to go back to your other swing that we showed before that was real time, I think we need to have a little more acceleration in your golf swing in general. So watch this again. Okay? So see how that actual golf swing, there's not a ton of acceleration. So let's work a couple drills to help us out with those two things. And I think that by working on getting more acceleration, it's also going to help you to get your sternum more towards your front side and help you hit better shots, because the low point of your swing at impact will be moving forward a little bit. So you'll hit the ball and then the turf. So let's take a look at a drill for that. Okay, so since your iron shots are what's bothering you, we're going to do this with an iron. I've got a 7-iron here. It looks like you're hitting balls into a net, so we don't want to use a wedge because we don't want to hit the ball up over the net. So we've got a 7-iron. I'm going to take this club and I'm going to put it in my right hand, or my trail arm here. Then I'm going to take my lead arm. I'm going to hold that bicep up against my rib cage. And what this does is this just helps me make a practice swing where I turn my shoulders, turn my chest, and then turn through. If I don't hold the arm against my side, I may get into this stuff. And we would never want to swing a club without turning, right? So I'm just going to relax my grip, and I'm going to listen for that whoosh noise of the club coming through. It should be loud. We will achieve actually the loudest noise when we're the most relaxed in our hands and arms. Okay, then what I'll do is after a few of those practice swings, I'm going to flip the club over and make a practice swing without hitting a ball. I can feel really free and loose on that. So the premise here is that in order to make this loud whoosh noise, we're going to start our downswing with our lower body leading this downswing so that our hips start the downswing, and then just behind the hips the shoulders will turn through. Now you don't have to think a lot about this to time this, because your shoulders are actually, I hate to say they're connected to your hips, but your spine connects your shoulders to your hips, and as you turn your shoulders a little bit, eventually the hips have to turn. Then on the way down, as you turn your hips, then the shoulders are going to have to turn through too. So as long as we can relax and feel shoulders back, hips through, we can get some good speed there. So let's hit a shot. And all I'm doing is I'm trying to recreate that feeling of this nice whippy action with that club upside down and my arm held up against my rib cage. Okay, so Anthony, I would say your golf swing looks pretty good. I think if you can do a little bit better job of accelerating through the shot, then that's going to help you move forward a little bit. It's also going to give you more centripetal force in your golf swing and make it easier for you to release the club well and hit that ball before the ground and give you that feeling of compressing the ball. I hope that helps. We'll see you next time.